Greetings and welcome to episode 6. I'm here to discuss some horror movies with you that I've recently have watched again. My first up on the list is House by the Cemetery. An appropriate place, don't you think? Anyways, it's about a family that moves to a house despite the warnings of the child who kept seeing that it's a girl in the painting of the house saying, "Do not come there, bad things will happen to you." But, just like parents, they don't listen to their children. Anyways, the parents move there and then they realize the house is the exact one in the painting of their house from England. But, they blow it off. Anyways, they move into the house and then paranormal things start happening to them. And what is so brutal about this movie, has to be one of the most bloodiest movies I have seen in a while. It is so bloody and torturous. Oh, you actually could feel the pain when these people start getting ripped apart. I highly recommend this movie, and it has quite a surprise ending. So if you can find this on VHS or DVD, I highly recommend House by the Cemetery. Next upon my horrific list is House. Yes, another House. This movie stars William Katt and Richard Moore. It's basically about a Vietnam vet who moves back to his grandmother's house, where his son had mysteriously disappeared years ago. He starts to write his book about his account in Vietnam, but things start happening. Apparitions of his child appear, and other strange oddities. Are they real or just in his mind? I can't tell you too much about this movie without giving it a spoiler alert, and I don't wish to do that, because it does have quite a surprise to it at the end. I highly suggest you get House, starring William Katt and Richard Moore. I shall show you the back cover of the creature that he torments him as he fights. But once again, get House. Ding dong, you're dead. Next up on my list is a happy tale of Klowns. Killer clowns from outer space. Yes, they come from space to basically eat the human race. They use popcorn to conjure up other critters, and then they use a ray gun that turns you into basically cotton candy, which they do put in a crazy straw and suck out your fluids. And of course, they just go around the town doing their merry little way. Do-do-do-do-do-do. But I highly suggest this movie, and also if you know people who are afraid of clowns, they actually get freaked out by this movie. So I highly recommend Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It is very cheesy, but definitely well worth seeing the clowns. Next on my list is Galaxy of Terror, starring Sid Haig, a very young one. Robert Englund is also co-starring in this before he became Fred Krueger himself. In some ways, it is almost like a science fiction horror movie of Freddy Krueger. Sorry about that, my ghost is having trouble holding the camera. But anyways, it's about a game master who basically knows your fears and causes them to come true for you. But the question is it real or just in your head? It also stars Erin Morgan. Yes, you might know her from Joni Loves Chachi or Happy Days. She's quite well in this. She should have stuck to the horror genre. She is very good in this. It even has a space slug maggot that rapes and humps a girl to death. Yes, you heard that correctly. Rapes and humps a girl to death. It is quite a very, very well done movie, I thought. But like I said, as they go to the planet to figure out what happened to the last crew, they must decide what is happening is real or fake. Who knows? But it does have quite the surprise ending. But once again, starring Sid Haig and Robert Englund. I highly recommend this movie. And last but not least, my favorite of the bunch, Vampyros Lesbos. This movie is done by director Jess Frankel. He's an excellent director. This takes place in 1971. And basically it's about the Countess Nadine, who stars, I must look at the back because I keep forgetting her name, Soledad Morena. Oh, what a name. Anyways, she finds this silky blonde that she goes after, and after their first erotic, carnal encounter, it leaves the young blonde girl wondering what happened. Was it real or was it not? As she explores love beyond the grave. And as she wanders through the beach, she meets a doctor, a male doctor, who decides he wishes to be a vampire too. But how can one be a vampire if they're all nothing but vampire Lesbos? It's an excellent movie with girl-on-girl seduction and carnage that leaves you just to wonder. It is subtitled in English, as it is filmed in French, but highly worth it. And the musical score to this is really, really awesome. I suggest you get both. Get both on CD and the soundtrack. Well, these are my recommendations for today. But this one, out of all of them, is a must-see if you have not seen it yet. Well, thank you for joining me here at the Glaive. There'll be more reviews in episode 7, maybe comedy or horror or whatever may take place. But thank you again for joining us, and hope to see you again, if you dare.